Hey y'all, it's Craig with Small Town Wreath Shop. Today we're going to do a little something different, y'all. We're going to be I'm going to show you how to make a table centerpiece with two candy canes that we're going to zip tie together. And just use some stuff that you had laying around. I know if you craft that use stuff that you already have that's open. We've got plenty of. If you make any kind of wreaths or crafts and you use the deco mesh, then we always have extra stuff that's open, and it's just a good way to use up the stuff that you already have. I've got some ribbon. Now, I did find one. Now, this is just our ribbon. Now check us out at smalltownwreathshop.com to see our collection of ribbon and stuff that we do sell. Don't forget, check out all the links. I'll try to link. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below. I'll try to link some of our links where you can come check our shop out at Small Town Wreath Shop. And I think most of the stuff that we've got, these are just Dollar Tree candy canes. These, I'm going to use some garland on it. This is some garland. I think we got this garland at Michael's. It was marked $5.99 at the time, I think. And I think we only paid like $1.80 for it. That was last year. We bought several of those up. But just find you some ribbon. We're going to keep this one kind of traditional. So we've got some pretty ribbons. Now we do have this in stock, and I think we out of the Swiss stock right now. If we do, we're almost out. And then this is just one that we had here. So just find you some ribbon that you've already used some and use it up. It's a good way to make something that you can use. And the way we're going to do it, you can kind of make it just a normal color, Christmas traditional, or so you can use your figurines to put on top, or you can put candles or whatever you want to kind of make it easier just to use one traditional color, so you can use traditional figurines. So now what we're going to do, I made one of these last year. Let's cut the tag off. And I did a gingerbread, but I did it as a sped up video. And y'all, these things are going to come out to be about 24 inches by the time you get them zip tied together. We're just going to take some little small zip ties, just a regular little small. I don't know how many it's going to take just yet. And we're going to just do one side at a time. I like to try to keep them close to, actually it'll probably be a little longer than 24, because I'm going to keep those two crossbars lined up. And it takes a few of these to hold it together good. So just make sure that you get enough on them to hold. That way it doesn't move around on you too much. And just make sure they get kind of cinched up pretty tight. Get them lined up. I'm going to do one on one side, one on the other, so it can't slide apart. Just as long as you get enough zip ties on it that it'll hold good. And then I'm going to put one on this end. That way you don't have to use too many. I mean, use enough that it's not going to move around. And we're going to take our pliers and just cut all of that off. I'm going to slide this one around, make sure he's pointed down, leave him where he's at. Garbage, and just keep zip tying together. This is going to make it to where you have to kind of squeeze it together right here and get it lined up, and then just put your zip ties on. Just pick your starting point. Doesn't really, in no rhyme or reason where to start, just kind of take your pick. A little bit aggravating. Get a couple of them started if you want, that way it kind of helps hold it to where you want it to be. So that took a total of 7. Put 7 on it to keep it, good and sturdy. So now you've got your good oval. And it does run. Now since we pulled apart a little bit to line up these braces here, it's about 25 inches long. We may need the zip ties, so we're going to leave the zip ties out. I may have to move some stuff around. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the garland on. I brought 2 of them just in case I needed it. But it might just take one. It all depends on how green you want it. And just kind of fluff it. I'm actually going to zip tie it on instead of using the pine ties because I want as many of the pine ties as I can to put all of my mesh and everything that I'm going to be putting in it. So just kind of fluff it, and you can start, or you can put it on and you can fluff as you go. And you can tell these are, they're cheap. This design's trying to get you to use stuff that you have. It won't break the bank. Nothing in here is real expensive, and it's just a good little project, especially if you have a table that you like to decorate for Christmas. Super simple, super easy. So now, trying to see, kind of the same thing, y'all. Just pick your place to start. I'm kind of going to go, we may be wrapping this more than once. I'm not going to be zip tying so much, but we're going to be making sure we zip tie enough. I'm going to catch the first run, so it'll stay still. You don't have to put these very close together. Now, like I said, we're going to stay on this first, from the bottom, the first little ring up. I'm going to keep them, just find a place that I really don't have any pine ties in the way. And we're going to zip tie it. Alright, so we're just going to turn it, and we're going to work back. And you may have to put another one. I think we can do it. We're just going to let them meet. And that's where the hanger was at. I'm going to go through that hanger. So we're going to find us an open hole here. So I'm going to go down through the hole, through the hanger, through the loop on the garland, and I'm going to catch the wire ring and everything together. Alright, so we got our first run on. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these off. And we're going to continue on. It may not take but one of these to get it thick enough. Now I think what we can do now is we can take our pine ties, and we can use the pine ties kind of, now we're going to run into that next loop. I'll try to get some pine ties out. Make sure you stand them up, kind of fluff it, because that way if you tie them with the pine ties, that you can kind of fill in some of the holes. So I'm going to use some of the pine ties this time to hold the next run. I'm going to go ahead and kind of lay it. It's actually going to take one and a piece. You might can come in a little bit taller. No, we can make it. So it's only going to take one. Because you're going to have a lot of stuff in here once you start filling in with whether or not, whatever you put in the middle. I just want to get it fluffed out so I can kind of look at it and see what needs to go where. And I may use just go ahead and use a couple more tie wraps on it. This is that hook that hangs, I don't know if you can see it, that hangs it on the wall, and I'm gonna bury it down in there. I just don't want it to, so I'm probably going to use a couple more zip ties. because I like the way that's looking fuller. Alright, now we got everything on, y'all. So now you can see you got your oval evergreen. So you got your base to start with. Now we're going to start cutting our mesh. We're going to be using just some mesh that we had leftovers. I know y'all got, just like us, we got tons and tons of mesh that we've used. I've got another roll that I'm going to be cutting off of, but I had a little bit left. We're going to be cutting all of these. Since your centerpiece is not very big, we're only going to cut these about 15 inches a piece. And that'll give us plenty of room, whether or not we just make some little curls, some little cruffles, or we do like the waffle wreath method, or the pancake method. Scrunchies is what I call them. So let's get to cutting. I've already got this one on the rack. So we're going to cut them at 15 inches. I don't know how many it's going to take, so I'm just going to cut some for now. And we're going to just cut them and set them to the side. A little tip, if you didn't know, a lot of times your mesh wants to roll back. I used to do it where you got to lay something up on it to keep it from rolling. Instead of rolling your mesh out, excuse me, like this, flip it over and it won't be able to go back. Just a little tip that you may have already known, because it took me a while to figure it out. So we're just using our rotary cutter. Be careful with them. Ask my wife, they will cut your finger. Now this is a natural burlap with the foil stripes, the red and green foil stripes. I like the natural colors. They're neutral. I can, just about do whatever I want to with it. If you're going to be changing some figurines out, especially if you're going for a farmhouse or rustic look, but with the traditional Christmas colors. I got to see how many I can get out of this. Alright, that's 8. I'm going to go ahead and use this up, because I don't. And you see how this one, it's just frayed at the end. We're just going to take and we're going to cut a line. And we're just going to cut him straight. Get rid of that. And we're going to see if we can get a 15-inch out of this last little bit. And yes, we can. Barely. So there was only one there. Since we're going to be alternating colors, this should be plenty for that one. Now let's get another color going. I'm going to do some of this pretty emerald green. That's just gonna match good. I know that other one's got the lime green in it. We're not gonna put too many of these, but we're gonna try to put enough that it just keeps carrying that same Christmas color. Now this is gonna fill up quick, so you're gonna have a lot of depending on how many of these you put in there, on how big you build your centerpiece up. So I'm probably only going to do about 6 of those first. I think that's a good number for me to kind of start with. We probably may not even use all of this. We just got to see how it's going to now y'all see that time it rolled back up. Alright, so that's got enough of the green. Move that out the way. And we're going to do a little bit of red. This is just a red foil mesh. I'm just going to straighten it out, and we're going to do probably 6 of these as well to see how that looks. That crap. Alright, now we've got our red. Now this one's all crooked and not straight, so we're going to straighten it out too. So just pick one of your lines. Look, these match, y'all. If you don't have one of these match, you need to get one. You need to get one. It'll sure help you keep things kind of straight, keep things moving along. You're using up rolls of mesh that that you had just laying around, or if you like us, they just piled up in the cabinet. So we're going to do, like I said, we're going to cut about 6 of these as well. Alright, we got our red, and as you see, we got a little bit left. So it's going to go back in the pile for the next project. So just because you don't have much on a roll doesn't mean you can't, figure out some way to use it. So just think about that. Alright, so we got all our mesh. I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to put the mesh on, and we're going to take a look at it, and then we'll start cutting our ribbon tails and our funky bows to start really filling in and see how we can make things kind of look. I mean, I think it's going to, and just because this doesn't look as thick, or maybe you think it needs more, right here we still have a few pine ties that are kind of tucked away. So make sure you kind of get at least the majority of those up and out and about, so you can kind of fill in and you can see how we're going to be going in. I still am not sure yet. I may want to do a actual ring of mesh around the very bottom where it shows on the outside edge of, and then it helps it kind of give it a little depth around the outside. I don't know if I want to do that yet or not, but we're going to see. So for now, I'm going to move some of my mesh out of the way because I need some table room. Alright, I think what I decided to do is we're going to do some little small, they're just going to be, since they're only 15 inches, they're going to be smaller cruffles. So I'm going to roll up each end, use my little clip to hold, roll a couple times, scrunch it across the middle, and just have your little cruffle. And we're going to go in, just pick 2 pine ties, just kind of get it tied in there nice enough. Doesn't have to be, it needs to be all the way down to the rim. It needs to be all the way down, and then you just work it and kind of fluff it up. And we may go ahead and alternate. That way that'll tell me if I'm going to be cutting any more. So let's try that. See how this how I like this look. Like I said, just roll your ends up a few times, couple together. Normally we make these longer, 18 to 20 inches, or even longer than that, depending on how big the wreath is. But with this, I don't want it too big. So just get up in there close by the next one. Find you 2 pine ties again. Get you 2 up, go between them, and make sure that you tie it all the way down to the to those candy canes. It doesn't have to be just a couple little ties, It doesn't have to be perfect. And just start making everything kind of stand up and poof up together. And just start working your way around. So we're going to do 1 of each color. And we're going to just keep alternating and just keep filling in. Keep filling in until it's full like you want it. I don't want it quite so full that we don't see any of the evergreen. But we're going to see how many it takes. I may have to cut some more, which is fine. And just keep working your way around once you get the 3 colors. Now you have to find a tie, because you want to try to keep them close. So if you have to find a tie somewhere, I may have to pull one out right there. So I'm going to use my clip to hold him. Make sure I got my ties that are just, some of them are still tucked under. So just kind of find them, pull them out, and then just get him in there close, because you want to just keep them kind of close together. And like I said, make sure it's down in the bottom. Just 1 little turn. Doesn't take a whole lot. And we're going to go back to the burlap stripe color. And we're going to start the process again. And we're going to go all the way around until he's nice and full, or as full as you want it. and just keep repeating the process. And you can use this with you can do this with any color that you want. You just pick out what color. If you want a silver and gold, if you want a green and gold, a red and gold, a blue, whatever color you want. This will work for your style. So don't worry about that. You just use whatever leftover mesh you have and try to get the color that you want. And just keep working around until it gets full. Hi y'all, we got our base pretty much filled up. It took more mesh than I thought it would. I don't know exactly how many pieces that I've used, but I've probably used 2 rolls all together of stuff that we had. So it's gotten pretty big. It's actually 33 inches long and about 19 inches wide. And it's nice and full. So now we're going to cut all of our ribbon tails to go in, and I think I've about decided what I want to go into the like I'm probably going to use some of these little picks, to kind of go around, but the centerpiece, the focal point that I'm going to use, y'all, is this Santa right here. So we're going to use Santa. Santa's going to be standing up in the middle of this. I'll have to show y'all the finished from the front view. So let's get started with all those ribbon tails. This is what we're using right here. This is the color ribbons that I chose. So let me get these cut, y'all. Since I don't know how many of these tails that I need, y'all, look, y'all, this is some beautiful, beautiful ribbon. It's got the bells and the holly. It's going to bring a little lighter color in instead of all that dark. Y'all, this is where these mats come in, especially if you're not in, you've got time. We've got some ribbon tail boards from our friend Jenny Sanchez at Wood Bits and Pieces. I'm going to cut these at 14 inches since I don't know exactly how many I want just yet. That's by the time I like them a little longer. By the time we dovetail them, it just cuts them down to about the right size. They wind up coming out to be about 13, which is actually what we like. So, but I'm gonna cut them at 14 inches for now. I'm probably gonna do about, since we got 3 different ribbons, probably gonna do about a half a dozen first, and because we're gonna go on top of it with the 1.5 inch. So now this is a holly. Like I said, now we do have this one. We have this one in stock in our shop, smalltownwreathshop.com. I don't know how many we have left, but we do have it in stock as of today, which is November the 8th or 9th. November the 9th, day after Election Day. Cut that end off. And we're just going to cut them all, like I said, at 14 inches. Now you can definitely, if you want to do this faster, by all means, you can use your ribbon tail board. And so I've got one cut. I just kind of hold it and just fold. And there's 2. So that makes 3. So this will be 4. And this will be 5. And then we just cut it off. It is quicker to do it this way. And then just pull your ribbon tail board out and just cut it across where the middle is on both ends, and then you've got your ribbon tails. So we've got our 5 of that one, and we'll do our 5 of the 1.5 inch. This is we did have this one in stock too. I don't think we have. If we do, we have like 1 left. So we're going to do 5 of these. I'm just going to fold the end on the ribbon tail board and just start. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Y'all, if you can hear our air conditioning, it's still hot down here in South Mississippi. Our AC is running. I don't know where y'all at, but it gets hot down here. So just find your little hole there, and all we're trying to do is just cut them at both ends. That one's already cut. And now we've got our 5 total. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay them. I'm going to alternate. So we're going to do one of this and one of these. And we're going to lay them on top of each other. And we're going to try to center them up the best you can. And I was watching Julie's Wreaths Boutique the other day, Miss Julie Asanon, and I really liked what she did. Now we're going to fold it in half. Because I'm going to dovetail them, but I like the way she did it the other day. I'm going to do one end at a time. Instead of just cutting our normal straight across, we're going to kind of round it off a little bit. So we're going to kind of start here, and we're going to just round it off. Just like that. If you can see how it's kind of rounded on the edge. And we're going to still keep holding it tight. I always face the wire to my left side. I'm right-handed. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're kind of going to just start facing, instead of straight across or at diagonal 45, we're going to start like this, and we're going to round it off. And it makes for a really pretty, really pretty dovetail. If y'all can see that, it's very pretty the way it comes out. And we want the centerpiece to, this is going to take up a lot of room on the centerpiece, and it's going to be very pretty on it. So we're going to do them all like that, and we'll be right. Alright, we're finishing up the tails. I thought maybe y'all would want to watch a few more. We just lay the 1.5 inches across the 2.5. Fold it to the middle. You don't have to keep the whole thing. You're just doing one end at a time. I kind of just make sure it lays flat. Make sure that it stays together really good though. And I'm rounding it off. So just kind of cut and just round it off. Just like so. It looks like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It sure gives it a pretty look. That one actually moved on me just a little bit. Hold it as tight as you can. Keep them together halfway. Just kind of get them down. You see, if you open your scissors up wide and try not to make and pull on it too much, then it'll stay pretty even. And it makes for a really pretty dovetail. I mean, a pretty dovetail. So we've only got 3 more of those to do. I did have to cut some more of these, y'all. I only had cut 5 of those. I cut 5 of each. I had to cut 10 of these since we're using it on top of both of them. So I had to cut 10 of the 1.5 inch Swiss dot, the gold and cream Swiss dot. It's pretty with both ribbons. So both of them's going to look good. Whether or not I get to do some funky bows or not, I'm not sure. So we're going to just see. And like I said, just round it. Just take your time. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're not trying to build a watch. If it's a little off, it's alright. You're just going to squish these things all up into the centerpiece anyway. So just take your time and enjoy it. Take your time. No hurry. You can take several days to work on this if you want to. I actually had to look around and decide, because like I said, the centerpiece part, the focal point, I'm not, you want this thing to kind of be versatile. You can put it away. I'm not going to be gluing anything in this. I did this last year with a gingerbread, just kind of the same way. And it's actually still in the house, and it looks really good on a sofa table behind our couch. And after Christmas was over, y'all, we stay so busy, I'm sure most of y'all do, that it's still up on top of her curio cabinet. Now y'all, you see that one kind of got out of it didn't get the bottom. So now I want to make sure we're even. I'm going to have to, so just kind of pay attention to what you do in there. This one here is going to turn out to be a little shorter, but that's okay too. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't get mad if you don't get it exactly right. And this is our last one. And then we'll get the base back up here. Just kind of make sure that it's pretty even. And then make you fold. Fold it down. I know this ribbon's very pretty. It doesn't cut, it doesn't fold and stay quite in half like the other one did. And it does move on you a little bit. So just kind of watch it and see how it lays and how you're able to cut it. This is the last one, y'all. And if you open them scissors up, it does seem to cut better. If that means anything, instead of opening them short, cutting it, open a little bit bigger and try to cut in one long motion. But it does make some beautiful dovetails. Alright, so we got those. We're going to grab the base real quick and we're going to get started again.
Fair to at least.
Alright, y'all, so what we're going to do is now we're going to just fold it in half. Fold them in half and get them pretty close. That's what I like to do. And let me slide this up a little bit. You might can see what I'm doing here. And then that's when you unfold it. You're just trying to get a crease down the middle. And you're just going to accordion it across the middle. Just like so. Just like that. And we're going to just find a place. Just pick your place to start. I've been starting in the middle. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to stay on top. I want those tails, or at least in this area here, all the way around. I'm not going in the middle yet because we're going to have the focal piece in there. So just pick you 2 ties, maybe what you've already tied some mesh in. Get it down into that V and just cross it over and twist it. You don't even have to twist if you don't want. Now me, I like to separate mine and I like to make an X. I like for this one to go this way across and this one to go this way. So just kind of work with it. Let it kind of open up. Take a peek and see what it looks like. And make sure you kind of work with your tails. Work them good. And we're going to work around. I'm going to alternate colors. So now we're going to get one of the gold holly. And we're going to go in with it. Same thing, fold it in half and get it accordion across the middle and just keep working your way around. Find you another place where you tied in. Let's see where I want one at. I'm going to bring up one of these. Kind of want it to meet this one. So I'm going to bring one of those ties this way and I'm going to use one that's on that one. Now you don't have to twist it if you don't want. I mean, you can actually just kind of wrap around it. Alright, now what I'm going to do here, you see you got this 2.5 inch coming up this way. I don't want the other 2.5, so I'm going to keep my 1.5 inch the same way and just kind of let them run this 1.5 inch over the 2.5. That's just the way my mind works. So I just think it looks good that way. These are wired ribbons, so they will go wherever you want them to go. And they'll kind of stay. Especially once you get it in place where you want it. And then you can work with it once it gets on your table. Whether it's, on a sofa table or somewhere. And just fix everything then where nobody's going to be touching it. So just keep working them in, alternating back and forth. And there's no rhyme or reason, y'all, where you put these things. If you want to work back and forth, you can. Being that it's a centerpiece, I'm not going to go up high because everybody's going to be kind of seeing around this way. Especially if you do happen to put it like we have ours up higher on top of a curio cabinet. Now this little V is shorter. I'm not even going to twist them. I'm just going to wrap them around and just push them down. That's all I'm going to do. Same thing, make your X. If you don't see that it's laying good, then, you know, fluff your mesh up and get it like you want it to lay. I mean, I like for them to make pretty X's. You know, and I like for everybody to be able to see the ribbon. I like for the ribbon to kind of lay like so. So just keep working yourself on around and get all your tails in, and if you need more, then just cut some more. And so we're going to finish that up and we'll be right back. Alright, y'all, so we got everything in. It looks really good. I don't know if y'all going to be able to see it real good on camera, but you look at it from the side all the way around. I did have to cut one more of each one. Well, it wound up taking 11 total combination of tails, so I had 10 cut, and it took one more to fill in the gap. And now we're going to start building up in this center. Now remember, just keep in mind with this, you're just trying to use stuff that you have around, that you had extra stuff, because for this video purpose, we're trying to keep this at a minimum as far as cost, and to show you that you can come up with a big centerpiece, tabletop, you know, and it not break the bank. I mean, you only got a couple Dollar Tree, so I mean, let's say you got, you know, $2 or so in the frames and the 2 candy canes. You've got mesh that you had open, so let's say you had 2 rolls in it, and you know, so now you're up to close to maybe $20 at the most, probably less than that, because I mean the mesh was already open. And you've got a little bit of ribbon that I've still got ribbon on every roll that you didn't use a whole lot, so you might have, you know, roughly maybe $6 or $7. Let's just call it one roll. So now you had 26, and you're fixing to use this stuff that you had. Now the Santa Claus is probably going to be the most expensive thing. So what we're going to do, I'm going to let y'all watch me put him together. Then we'll pause and I'll have the camera move so y'all can actually see him. But we're just going to find a hole right down to the center. Just imagine that he's on your table or wherever. So make sure his feet or whatever you put. Now I've been sitting here looking at it. I'm just going to kind of put him in the middle. This would look really good, y'all, if you had and I know you can't hardly tell. So, you know what? Let's put it together. Let me get the camera moved, and that way y'all can kind of see me put it together from like over the shoulder or in front of me. And I may just do it toward the camera. Let's do that. Alright, y'all. We're back. Now y'all get to see me, finally. I'm Craig with Small Town Wreath Shop. Glad y'all stuck with me this long. Y'all, the base has turned out really pretty. It's turned out really pretty. I'll try to get in there. And I know it's probably washing it out. But it looks the same all the way around. It is on those 2 candy canes, y'all. It's nice and full, big and full. Let me move it back so y'all can kind of see. Alright, y'all, I gotta drink my coffee. Community coffee. Ooh, wonderful. Dark roast. Alright, let's get this thing finished up. Like I said, you want to be able to use this as a centerpiece on a table, sofa table somewhere, and you got to think you're not going to be able to see around it 360 degrees necessarily, depending on where it's at. For the video, I'm not going to stick. I really think this would do good, y'all, with a Santa Claus and a Mrs. Claus with maybe some stuff in the middle. I don't have that right now. All I do have is Santa Claus, which is one of Melissa's. And for this video, I'm going to... Alright, y'all. Now we got the base finished. Like I said, for this video purpose and showing y'all that you can use stuff that you have open, that's just extra stuff that you had around from your crafting, from your wreath making, or whatever you was doing, you can still make a really pretty big centerpiece. Now this one, I'm not going to create it to where you're seeing all the way around at 360 degrees. I'm kind of assuming that it's gonna be, and you can change it up because I'm not gluing anything in here. Everything that's supposed to get put on is just kind of gonna, like, you take this base, put it where you want it, and then you can change stuff out in the middle. You can put it in, look at it, see what it looks like. Now the Santa, I know she was going to use this, y'all, so he still got the tag on him. So for this video, the tag's going to stay on him. It's just going to kind of lay there. So decide where you want him. I kind of put it in earlier and looked. So you kind of just want him, or I wanted him kind of in the middle. We're going to kind of just make sure he's straight, and just assume he's on a table where he's actually going to stand there pretty good. Not going to get knocked over. If you want to, you can take a weight, a little bag of sand or something, and put on his feet if you're scared he's going to fall or something, and stick that in there. That's just a little tidbit of information. Alright, now I've just went through some of my wife's stuff and found a few things that match that she had that I'm going to just kind of put in. Now I've kind of laid things in. It's a little bit harder for me to see things. These have the tag on them as well because I don't know what she's going to do with them, so I'm just kind of teaching y'all what I can do with things that we have left over. So we're going to just, I only had 4 of these, so we're just going to go one in front. Well, we really don't have to do one in the back, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. So one in the back, you kind of nestle one on each end, you know, kind of toward the side. Just kind of get it poked in there where you can kind of see it. And now I have more of these. I really wanted to use them. I really did, because they got the ornaments in them, and they had that pine and stuff that I really liked. I'll show you what it looks like in it, but I actually like that, and I may have to go get them. All right, so we've got some Christmas balls here that we had a garland that we took apart, and these are just plastic big Christmas balls. Now you can use any color that you'd like, and just kind of, you know, take your pick. They are, 2 of them's the same, and these 2 are different. They're the same color, but they got a little different design. Just make sure where the hanger was at, just put it down. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these 2 together, and we're just going to kind of take a look at how they kind of look. This one's nestled in here. I'm going to hide this tag because I don't really want to see that too much on y'all's end. So we're just going to nestle them in there. We've got the one, I'm going to nestle it by itself on this side. And I took some regular Christmas ornaments and I made little clusters. Now these are 2 mats, and you can do it in 5s if you want. And I'm going to just kind of nestle this cluster down in here and just take a look at them, see what it looks like, see kind of where you might need to, you know, put it, because I can't, it's actually hard. I'm kind of looking on the television as well. I can see it, you know, I've got it mirrored over to the TV. So just kind of put it where you think it looks best. And now you got Santa with a bunch of little balls nestled around. The reason I like this one is naturally the ornaments and stuff are the colors that we're going with. That's why I really wanted to use this one as some height, but I just don't have, I'd have to find, I know I got some more of them, but just find some things that you have laying around. I have one of these that I made last year with gingerbreads. You can definitely put some gingerbreads in here. You could put, probably, if you had a snowman maybe that had a little different color hat, you could do that. Nutcrackers as well. I started to do the nutcrackers. You can, instead of putting him in the center, like I said, if you had a Santa and Mrs. Claus, maybe a Mrs. Claus that was sitting, then you could put her kind of sitting by him. It's just super versatile and super cute, and y'all, it's not a lot of stuff, and it's big. I mean, you really can make this thing big. It's 30, you know, 30 inches, 32, so about 33 inches, about 33 inches long, and about 19 or 20, and y'all, it just is super cute. Absolutely would make a statement. Not a whole lot of money in it, y'all. You can do this, I guarantee you, with everything. You probably can make this big centerpiece for less than 30 bucks. I mean, like, seriously, especially if you're catching everything on sale. And I hope that y'all got some value out of this. I hope I taught y'all something. I enjoyed it. I think my wife, Melissa, it is her. Melissa is Small Town Wreath Shop. I'm just a little part. I kind of do all the back end stuff, but she has taught me some things. I would walk around and kind of see, but I think y'all kind of get the gist of how you can make these things look. Very satisfying for sure. I'm proud of this one. I hope y'all are. I hope you'll give it a try. I appreciate y'all watching the video. Absolutely. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Give me a thumbs up on the video if you get some value out of our videos. Absolutely. I'll leave some of the links below of some of the stuff that we used to Miss Julie's Wreaths Boutique. I'll leave her link so y'all can check her out as well. And just spread the love a little bit, y'all. Show some people a little bit. Teach somebody something. Try something new out of the box, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this centerpiece, Christmas centerpiece that can be changed up in multiple different ways. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank y'all for taking time to come hang out with me. I'm Craig with Small Town Wreath Shop. Bye, everybody.